Okay, everybody, I'm excited because we're about ready to get going with graphing quadratics and doing all kinds of things with quadratic functions. It's really one of the most important things I got to teach you, and we'll talk more about that later. Let's get started. So we already started graphing a quadratic like this. If you kind of remember a week ago, just started learning how to do that. Now, guys, that's called standard form. Notice how you have something x squared, something x, and a number, right? Now that's called standard form, okay? Standard form. Contrast it to this one right here. Notice we have a parentheses. And this one's going to be referred to as vertex form, as you will see why in a few minutes, okay? But again, the first thing I want you to recognize is we have vertex form, we have standard form. Vertex form with the parentheses squared, standard form. Okay, but anyways, let's get started here. Get things cleaned up a little bit. So, let's start with, of course, the one that we've already worked with just a little bit. And how do I graph anything, guys? I make a table, correct? I need the correct numbers in my table. See, I don't want to just keep guessing 0 and 1 and all that every function, okay? As you'll find out, that doesn't always work. So what do? Well, what I try to teach you is we use a nifty formula called negative b over 2a. Negative b over 2a. And that's also the beginning of the quadratic formula, which we will get into very soon. And tie those two things together. But in a standard form, guys, the first number with x squared is always your a. So I'm going to plug that in. I know my a is negative 2. And the number with your x, guys, is always your b. So positive 4x means b is 4. Now, guys, notice there's a negative with the little nifty formula. So watch your negatives. I have negative 4 there. And let's see what I come up with. I have negative 4 over negative 4. Dividing that correctly, guys, you should get positive 1. Now this again is called our vertex, as you will find out if you don't know what a vertex is. But the important thing is it's also called our middle number. So you notice in my table, guys, I will put 1 right in the middle, and then I'm just going to count a couple points above and below that middle number. So I'm going to count up 0, negative 1, then count down 2 and 3. And what we're going to do now is take each one of these x numbers. For example, follow the green. I'm going to take negative 1 and I'm going to plug it in there and do the math, right? Well, to speed things up a little bit today, guys, I already have it done on the calculator because I wanted to talk about the calculator a little bit. So check this out. As you can see here, guys, follow the yellow. I plugged in negative 1 in there into my equation exactly. Notice how I use parentheses when I plug in numbers. And if you do that on your calculator consistently, guys, you always will get the correct values. But anyways, going along here, when I plugged in negative 1, did I not get negative 11? When I plugged in the zeros, did I not get negative 5? When I plugged in the 1s into my x's in the equation, I got negative 3, right? And basically, we have our table done. Because watch. I know that this one came out to be negative 11. I know this one came out to be negative 5. This one came out to be negative 3. Just verifying, guys. And if you remember, we talked about symmetry. We know that this is negative 5 because those two are going to match up. And the 3 is going to be negative 11 because it's going to match up with the negative 1 because of symmetry. And now all we have to do is graph. So I'm just going to go to negative 1, negative 11, which is down there. I'm going to go to 0, negative 5 right there. I'm going to go to 1, negative 3 right there. I'm going to go to 2, negative 5, and finally 3, negative 11, and there is my parabola. And there is my vertex that we were just talking about. Notice the vertex, guys, is that middle number in your table. So pause the video if you need to. Now let's just do this one. This will go faster, guys. What's the first thing we always do is we set up our table, right? Now with vertex form, what's cool, guys, is you just do what I've been trying to teach you already. Let's look inside the expression and ask ourselves, what number could I put in for x right there to get 0? And of course that number is 4. 4 is my vertex, guys. That's my middle number. So I'm going to put 4 in the middle of my table. Again, I'm just going to count up and down 2 numbers, keeping my numbers in order. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, always keep in order. Guys, notice in my table, guys, I don't even use 0 or 1, you see? So if you're in the habit of just plugging in 0, 1, you're going to get messed up on this problem, you see? But anyways, to speed things along, guys, I plugged each one of those in for x, and I used the calculator. So if you look right here, guys, I plugged in the 2 into that equation. 3 times x minus 4 squared minus 3, right? And I got a 9. Then I plugged in the 3, I got a 0. I plugged in the 4, my vertex, I got a negative 3. So 9, 0, negative 3. So that was 9, that was 0, that was negative 3. Hopefully you understand that this will be 0 because of symmetry, and this will be 9 because of symmetry. All we have to do is graph. I'll start with 2, 9. So 2, 9 is right there. 3, 0 is right there. 4, negative 3 is right there. That's called the vertex, by the way. V-E-R-T-E-X. That's the middle of the graph. 5, 0 is right there. And 6, 9 is right up there. Here is my parabola. Okay. Pause the video if you need to. But guys, basically, we're done. Now you understand, hopefully, the key word vertex is the point of the parabola. Follow the green here, guys. So wherever the minimum or maximum value is, we'll refer to it in the graph, that's going to be our vertex. Okay, that's going to be our vertex. And notice this graph, guys, goes up like this, right? Why? Because of the positive value. If we look at our first graph, notice how it's opening down. Why? Because of the negative in front of the x squared. So I hope you watched this video, guys, more than once. Study it, maybe take notes on it. And I'll see you in class tomorrow. Bye.